Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Will Patterson, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope you all had a festive Christmas. I sure have, and it's been great. Now, much like the last video I did, which was an AMA, I wanted to do something that would help a few of you on the channel. So this video is talking all about how to interact with your new potential clients. So if you're someone who struggles with talking to new clients or gets a bit nervous about it or doesn't know what to say when you're talking about pricing or talking about what you can and can't do and realistic expectations, then this video is definitely for you. Now for me, I don't work in a studio, so this is from a freelancer's perspective, and that is important to keep because freelancing and working in a design studio for a huge design studio is a lot different. So what I'll do is I'll talk to you a bit about my process of how I deal with client information and how I actually email them back and respond and how we actually get the ball rolling when it comes to getting a client project going. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. So the first thing is when a client normally contacts me, it's through my website. So my website is willpatterson.space. People go on there, they check out my work, they look at what I'm doing. They normally find me on YouTube, through my portfolio, my Instagram, or just my web presence. When a company is looking for some work, whether it's a logo design work or hand-lettered work or logo type design work, they normally find my website and go to the contact form there. From that contact form, I'm able to get a bunch of information from them. If you go to my contact form, you realize you have to actually put in certain information in there to contact me, and I need that information. Information such as what's your name, what's your company, how old are you, what currency are you in, where do you live. There's also a little message part in the middle where you can email me a message. Now that contact form links to my wife's email address, and what that does is that Naomi takes that email that you or the client has sent and vets it and talks to the client for a while. Now the reason why that happens is because I get a bunch of emails and it can be kind of overwhelming just for me to look through the emails and to work out who to work with. So instead of me looking through all the new emails, my wife takes over. She looks through them all, she replies to nearly every single one from that online form and forwards me the emails that need to be forwarded to me, such as client emails. From here, a client normally says that I'm starting either a new company or we're looking for some hand-lettered work for an advertising campaign. What are your rates? And they talk a bit more about the project as well. Now, when they've emailed that and asked me what my rates are, how much I charge, how long it will take, I normally try and spark up a bit of a conversation with them in the way that it makes them feel a bit more relaxed. I like to make my work professional, but also relaxed. So I normally ask them a few more questions, but followed by an email form. And this other email form is a questionnaire where they can literally write out the questions and it gets emailed straight back to me. And these questions go from like, what is the size of your company? What are your goals within your company? How many people work in your company? Who's your audience? What makes you better than your competitors? Who are your competitors? Etc. I gather all this information, and normally within the email, I set a price. So I set a variable price, which means that the logo or the work that I'm doing is set from either this amount to this amount. So it's in between this, or it's going to be this if I know directly. Now I know a few of you actually struggle with actually giving a price. Now the main problem with giving a price is that you don't want someone to run away and never come back to you. You want to get a client. Who doesn't want to get paid from a client, and who wants to feel the rejection? No one. But it's really important to know to give your pricing relatively straight away. Now for me, when I'm giving you my price, I normally tell them this is what I'm going to offer you, and this is how much it's going to be, and this is how long it will take. Here's a bit more about my process, and I talk a bit like that. Now the great thing about talking about what your expectations are, so what you're going to do and then how much that's going to cost, is that it gives the client or the person emailing you a bit more context into why you're charging them what you're charging. If you say to someone that I'm going to charge you £10,000 for one logo and that is it, then there's no context to that. What are you showing them? What are you doing differently than what someone else is doing differently? So sparking up a conversation by telling them what you're doing and how you do it and how excited you are for it actually helps the conversation flow. Now, a lot of my emails, I'd say about 60 to 80% of my emails actually never get replied back. So they never reply to me. And that's probably because I charge out of their budget and they don't want to spend that much in their budget. But do you know what? That is absolutely fine. If you're in a position where you are scared about not making money, that's going to make you compromise on your value value. But just so you know, it's okay to be rejected half the amount of times, because that is just normal business and that's just what happens. People can either afford you and entrust you with it, or people can't and they do the opposite and run away. So once someone's emailed me and we've got all the questionnaires things in there and I'm happy with going ahead with the project, I tend to meet with them one-to-one on a Google Meet conversation. So I basically set up a meeting online with a little link from Google Meet, and I'll normally come prepared to that meeting, which is probably about half an hour to an hour, with some ideas and with some more questions and taking a general interest in the company, getting as much information as possible to get the ball rolling. Now in this meeting, it's just super important to be yourself. I know it's daunting. A lot of people do everything through email, but I like to start meeting with clients, especially if it's online, because it gives me more of a platform to talk to them about the process. During the meeting, we talk about how big their company is and what their goals and aspirations are. So I basically double check everything that they said on the questionnaire, and it's really relaxed and really kind of informal. I do like to talk about who they are and the quirks of their business and what their goals are. And I like to talk a bit about my process. Now, the bit where people really get freaked out when they first get clients is talking about pricing. Now, if someone says that we want to lower the price, that is completely up to you if you want to charge less for your work. But normally for me, I do have room for leniency with prices, but I don't go overboard. I charge what I deem is valuable to me. But something that I always tell the clients, and it's something that I love to do, and it's a way of getting people excited, and it's also a truth in design, is that I always want to do more work than they've paid me for, just because I love the work. They're getting more work. The way that I say it to every client is, if everyone gets paid well, then the work is going to be really good because they're getting paid well. They're not having to worry about the money. The money is just one of the formalities. Something that I love to say to clients and people that I'm speaking with online is that I don't design to get paid. I get paid so I can design. So I don't just hold money in the design industry. I love getting paid from it, don't get me wrong, but don't come with the attitude of I'm doing this to get money all the time. You want to come with the attitude that this is a passion of yours and that you're really, really into the company that they are in. If you're not into the company, then don't work with them. That is the be all and end all. Don't work with someone that you don't want to work with. Otherwise, you're not going to create the best work and it's not fair on them. The next thing I do is I start out the paperwork and the formalities. So I normally tell them that I get paid on a deposit basis. So I get 50% upfront before work starts, straight after the meeting. As well as that, we sign paperwork, which is basically a contract which says that I'm going to do this work for you. You will earn this off the work, or this is the royalty that you'll have to give me for the work every so now and then. We also sign NDAs, so we do not talk about the work to anyone else. People don't talk about me and I don't talk about them unless they don't want to sign an NDA. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is my website provider. I built my website on Squarespace because it's so easy. You don't need to be a design wizard to know how to use Squarespace, and it's really cheap for the value that you get. You can go and check out my Squarespace website with the link down below. I use it for selling brushes, to getting clients. I have a little contact form on there. I also have a blog and my portfolio on my website, and it looks really nice, and I didn't have to do too much work. If you're a designer or someone who's just looking to have a website, then go and click that link down below to get 10% off Squarespace. Thank you so much for watching this, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you soon.